Hello, I am DC Freshman Universe, and this is going to be my video. Not about what I want for Batman, but what I want for his villains, Gotham City, and future spin off universes. Now, first, we all know who Batman is. We all know the Cape Crusader, his villains. He has the best rogues gallery in comics, movie, TV, fiction in general. We all can agree to that. And we all agree that his rogues gallery are the most iconic villains. But we don't see many of them, even though a lot of us, even people that don't read comics, know about a lot of them. If but like there is a majority of people that don't know like a lot of them because they use one in particular, and I'm finna have he got his own little thing we finna have on him. They use the Crown Prince of Crime himself, particular too much, the Joker. They use this man so much in movies. That is like most Batman movies are based on him. They even had him at the end of the Matt Reeves, and he had an extended scene in Matt Reeves' The Batman. But yeah, they use that man too much. And I am starting, like many people, not to like it. I'm like, dang, we can use other people. We can use other villains. Like, we don't have to just keep using the Joker over and over again. Just use him so much. Like, we use this man so much. It's like most people think that mainly Batman's main villain is Joker. And it may be to some extent. Because I ain't gonna lie. A lot of the Joker adaptations we got have been good. Even the single Joaquin Phoenix movie. If y'all want me to make a video on that, I may. Actually, I may make a video about it, but maybe way later. Because I haven't watched Joker 2 because I know it's bad, but at the same time, I don't want to subject myself to that, especially when I can watch more other shit that's good, and then I can be like, oh, this is way better than Joker 2, and it's like, if I watch that, I'm going to be like, okay, that. But, okay. Same thing with the Joker 2, though. When he's in the DC universe, now this is actually what I want from the Joker. I don't want him to be in the first Batman movie. He can't be mentioned though, cause like see how even James Gunn kind of does have I guess a little hand in it. So I would want him to like revive the character because Andy Muschietti is I think still attached to it, and it's like people have more faith in him because of Welcome to Derry and like stuff like that. And it's like, oh, Welcome to Derry was so good. I might do a video on that too. But people have a lot of more faith than Andy Muschietti because of Welcome to Derry, and that's why they want him to direct it. Because at first they didn't want him to direct it, but then it took a while, and I feel like James Gunn really should have speeded up the process and found the new Batman because we don't even know who the new Batman is at the time of this recording. So he's probably not even gonna be in Clayface, and they just like did some testing for Clayface, and they even said Batman's not in the movie, and there's nudity in the movie and stuff and all, which I'm kind of surprised by. But hey, James Gunn is making his universe actually very different from the universe that came before. Because even in the already movie, it's like, dang, this superhero movie, you know, you're probably not gonna get any nudity or nothing like that. But I'm just saying. But the way he revived Lex Luthor, took elements of his character, kind of remixed them, and then made it fresh. If he does that with the Joker, I actually wouldn't have a problem with saying the Joker no more. It's like if he does that with the Joker and makes him to where he is in the comics and some of that, and Batman the New 52, separate video coming out about how much I love Batman the New 52. That was actually one of the first Batman stories that I actually did read in comics. The Batman New 52. It was great, and that's a lot of the inspiration I want James Gunn to take. And when he's creating his Batman New 52, some modern day Batman comics, Batman, a little bit of Tom King one, and the Matt Fraction most recent one. Like those are perfect Batman stories, and they really get the character, especially his high empathy for his villains. Because Batman does actually want to help his villains. He doesn't just want to beat him up because he got anger issues, even though he does have anger issues. But he doesn't just want to beat his villains up. He actually really does care and wants to help his villains, and that's actually something I'm gonna want him to do when I see him in live action. Okay, but moving on. So, if they do that with the Joker, remix him, even give him a little bit of his own series, and I'm actually going to talk about series more, but if they do that and do that, I wouldn't have a problem with seeing Joker. Even if they give him like his own either miniseries or movie like they did for the Penguin, or they can even make another his own movie in the DCU. If they want to like give him an origin story, or it doesn't even have to be an origin story, it can just be a crazy villain movie. Or they probably said, because he did say he was thinking about not recasting Harley Quinn, but we don't know. Well, actually, now I think about it, he did say the Suicide Squad is canon in this universe, so there is a chance that Harley Quinn doesn't have to be recast. But okay, so what do I want from his other villains, and who do I want to be the main villain of the movie? Actually, you know what? We're just gonna make this about other villains. So his second villain, I want Bane to be, if he's not an antagonist in the movie, I do actually want Bane to be like he is in the comics, and y'all seen the trailer for the new Batman Nightfall, like he is in the comics. I want him to like be intimidating, like have this intelligence to him, like in the most recent Absolute universe in Tom Hardy's Bane. I want him to be a hand-to-hand skill. Like he doesn't even really need the venom, but he uses it anyway. And for him to like show his real intelligence and not just be like, in most movies, Bane is just like a puppet for somebody else. But it's like he's his own villain with his own plans and goals, and we really haven't seen him execute any real plans or goals. Even kind of in comic sense, like he kind of took over Gotham and killed Alfred. That was actually something he did, and Alfred's actually still dead. That's the second biggest thing he did. The first was Nightfall, and that was the second that people mainly talk about. But it's just like I want Bane to have his own goals, motivations, and reasons for doing stuff. I could even see Bane being the antagonist of the movie. But the same thing about that is Bane and Deathstroke are getting their own movie. And I would talk about Deathstroke, but I feel like Deathstroke's more of a Teen Titans villain. But Bane and Deathstroke are getting their own movies and their own movie. And it's supposed to be filming recently. Well, are starting filming, or starting production. But yeah. So I don't know if he would be the antagonist of the movie. And I wouldn't think he would get like, because Batman and Damian Wayne movie is going to require a father and son aspect for the villain. Like they're a father and son combo, so it's going to like in the Batman son movie. Who'd they fight? They fought also Man Bat, because I feel like this is supposed to be the gods and monsters. Man Bat would be a perfect villain for that. But let's get back to Bane and Deathstroke. They fought Deathstroke, and it's like Deathstroke was kicked out of the League of Assassins, and Ra's al Ghul thought Batman would be a better choice than Deathstroke, so he felt like he was kind of supposed to have Talia be Damian's real father, and Damian even acts more like Deathstroke in the movie than Batman. But towards the end, you do see that bit of Batman with his empathy and sympathy for the villains, and even his empathy and sympathy in the comics for his pets like Goliath. But yeah, let's get back to Bane. But I want Bane to be strong, have brains, and have his own motivations for doing things, and to be a little bit explore his backstory. But let's move on. Let's talk about Man Bat. Now, Man Bat, I feel like would be a perfect villain, probably not a main villain, but villain to have in this universe. They could even give him like, there's actually a project I want to talk about that later, but they could even give him like his own little spinoff or something like that, like a villain spinoff for him, or like a movie that's kind of like the Quayface movie coming out, but like it's about science instead of looking perfect. It's about science and the character of Man Bat. Because Kirk Connors in the Arkham video games did kill his wife on accident because he was trying to find a cure for science. It could even be a better Morbius. Like, just imagine a Morbius movie, but Batman and better. Like, it could even be that. A better Morbius. Imagine that. Because if Clayface is a big hit, they're probably going to do it with a second Batman villain. And Man-Bat would be the perfect choice. But I'm just saying, and then their universe is gods and monsters, and they're doing Clayface. A perfect other monster would be Man-Bat. And then he's the perfect fantastical thing for James Gunn universe and not too much in the Reeves universe. But moving on. Let's talk about Batman's more insane villains. I would argue that these villains kind of are more disturbing than the Joker. Professor Pig, Hugo Strange, and Mad Hatter. Now let's talk about all of them individually. Professor Pig was the most disturbing character, but I don't know should they do him in this movie. Cause see this, he is the best. He could honestly have a horror movie onto his own. It could be Clayface, Man-Bat, and Professor Pig horror movies. Cause that character is so horrifying. Or even if they make like a spin-off series about Nightwing or one of the other Bat family members and make it R-rated, he could be the main villain or even the side villain. Cause he's just so horrifying and so just evil. But if they do that, that would be really good. Because Professor Pig is just so horrifying and his Dolatrons are so creepy and disturbing. It's just so like, oh my god, just so perfect. Then the Hugo Strange. Hugo Strange probably could be the main villain of the movie, but he's not really a fighter. But I don't know, he probably doesn't really have to be a fighter because the movie should really mainly be about Batman and Damian Wayne and Batman trying to be a father to Damian Wayne. And Hugo Strange, I did like, if they could find a way to like implement like Arkham City, like him making an Arkham City, or even like if the Arkham Asylum show, that's the main thing I want. If they do still run in that Arkham Asylum show in the DCU, because originally it was supposed to be a Matt Reeves universe, then they switched it to DCU. If they're still doing that, and Hugo Strange is like our main character of the Arkham Asylum show, that would be sick. Like if he's like our main character and our main way in, and he's just like, oh, tell me about what happened. And then each villain, we're flashing back to their side of what happened. Like we're it's like a flashback. Oh, every episode is an anthology, and each villain we're flashing back to how they got in Arkham Asylum, and then it's like it ties into the Clayface movie because he'd be the first thing we see, and then at the end of the movie we see Hugo Strange. That would be sick. But then the Mad Hatter is kind of the most creepiest villain because he is a pedophile in the verse. And that's just, oh my god, that's just, I don't know where they go that dark or even get him in the movie. And that could make an argument on Batman should kill the Mad Hatter. But yeah, with his little Alice in Wonderland thing, that would be a good thing for the Arkham show. Or if they do like a Red Hood show, it would be good too. But the second thing I want, besides the villains, is I want to see the Bat Family. And I don't just want to see the Bat Family. I want the Bat Family in their own show. Because, say this. If we could do it either, we could do like a prequel movie or anything. Because this Batman, he would have to go through Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and now Damian Wayne. That's a long history, and then you wouldn't be including the other Bat family members, even Barbara Gordon. Even at this point, she probably wouldn't be paralyzed no more, or she would. It depends on which way they want to go. Or she could just be starting to learn how to walk again. It depends on which way they want to go. If they do that and make it to where she isn't paralyzed, you could even make it into her own series, and it doesn't even have to be a miniseries. A lot of these characters could get their own series. The person I want to get their series the most is Nightwing, or Red Hood, and Barbara Gordon, and I could see a Tim Drake spinoff. And you would be questioning how would a Tim Drake spinoff make sense, but at the same time, even if Tim Drake gets a spinoff, because Now that Batman got Damian Wayne robbing, Tim Drake got to find kind of his own footing like he usually does. He's got to find his own place in Gotham, and where is he without the Batman? And that would be an interesting storyline. Then Nightwing, we're exploring Gotham's sister city, Bloodhaven. That would also be very interesting, and we could see a new side of Gotham. The Barbara Gordon can be like a trauma story, kind of like how, and a detective story at the same time, kind of like how they're doing Green Lantern. And I will be covering that episodically, kind of how they're doing Green Lantern. Like, oh, I'm so traumatized by the Joker, and then I gotta solve these murders. That's actually where we could introduce the Joker and have him be a kind of villain, or kind of like a like person that she goes to get information from, kind of like in the Matt Reeves universe. And he's just like, oh, he's her Hannibal Lecter, but with she's his Will Graham. And oh my god, that would be perfect. And Red Hood spinoff would just kind of speak for itself. You would want to see a spinoff of Red Hood if he's still alive at this time. Red Hood could even be a villain for the movie, honestly. That would be kind of crazy though, because imagine Red Hood being a villain for the Batman movie. Imagine he's a villain like he was in Under the Red Hood. He's jealous that Batman replaced him with Damian because he's just recently getting revived. And then say, even if Ra's al Ghul is a villain for the movie too, he can be mad at Ra's al Ghul. He can be, Ra's al Ghul could be mad because Damian choosing Batman, so he gets Red Hood, or vice versa. And it's like, just gold. Like, Red Hood is jealous of Damian Wayne, and then they both kind of have this thing where Damian Wayne was like, would he have been a better Robin than me? Was he a better Robin than me? Does Batman truly love me like that? And then he can have his own prequel series where he's getting his redemption arc. This is just gold. But that is what I would want for the DCU when it concerns Batman. I'm going to talk more about what I want for Batman and Damian Wayne and anything regarding them in my Batman video that I keep saying I'm going to make, but I promise you it's coming. So if that's all questions that you have, that's all I had to answer. And yep. So I will be watching Supergirl, or trying to watch Supergirl when it comes out, and I will be making a video on that. Then I will be covering Lanterns and Batman Caped Crusader when they come out, and the Batman Nightfall movie when it comes out, and the Batman Nightfall movie Part 2 when it comes out next year. And I will be covering every DCU project or thing that comes out. That's actually why I even started my channel this early, because I wanted to cover them. But yeah. See y'all in the next video.